After finishing his weekly smashing of his blonde sex worker, our main character, a priest, heads back to church where he meets up with a man named Kurt. Kurt seems to know and trust this priest as he's there for a confession in which he gets asked how many men were killed. So these confessions include, major crimes where trust would naturally be needed to confess. Kurt seems to be some type of mercenary speaking on his last mission. He tells the story of said mission. Waking up in a body bag, he rips out of it, realizes he's in a mass grave surrounded by dead bodies. He heads towards a building where he takes out one of the guards. Using the dead guard as a shield, he proceeds to take out the remaining guards and he's in. He sees his target, Dr. Schillinger, and is ready to go not before the doctor decides he wants to take a subject with him. The subject being a young boy, deformed from all the experiments, surrounded by others who seem fearful. Kurt decides to put an end to these experiments, shooting the doctor point blank. Kurt assures whoever was in his ear that they'll agree with his decision to kill the doctor. He heads out with the experiments. Before leaving out, full guns blasting, we catch an unknown woman who zip lines down and grabs the doctor's bag, most likely filled with his notebook or his research results. Back at the confession booth, Kurt lets out that he finally felt good after a mission, rescuing those people. But we also find out Kurt and the priest are brothers. The priest seems to resent Kurt for carrying the burden of knowing of his missions and sins. Kurt gets captured on his way out of church. We find him now tied up, bloodied and beaten. Knowing each other by first name basis, Kurt assures Frank, the man doing the beating, that he doesn't know where Schillinger's notebook is at, the same one taken by the woman back at the facility. Frank, looking for that notebook, gets an order to numb his lower body and chop off his penis. And if he doesn't talk after that, well then he has to go. Yes, the order was to chop the penis off. We know what happened after getting said penis chopped off, as we're now at Kurt's funeral. We find our priest speaking to a ghost of Kurt, but he doesn't seem too bothered by the fact that he's speaking to his dead brother. We learn more about the relationship as it seems Kurt's wife Amanda and his brother once had a relationship. Kurt asks him the favor of watching after Amanda as he's sure they'll be coming after her. We find out the name of the priest, Daniel. Daniel arrives at Amanda's apartment. Words aren't spoken as they just sit there drinking tea. Daniel stands up as he's ready to leave when Amanda asks him to stay. She uses medication that helps her sleep but takes away the ability to wake up while under the pills, so she's fearful to sleep alone. Daniel is now on the couch sleeping when two men sneak in the apartment. Daniel threatens to call the police when those two men shoot towards him. Kurt, who's still just a ghost, tries to push his brother out the way, but instead becomes one with him, becoming what looks like a darker version of Spider-Man. Or if Spawn and Spider-Man were to combine to create a singular character, the title character Hunt. The bullet is stopped by slug-like substance flinging out of the new body. They, or he, quickly beheads both men, and that ends our first issue.